This video is for our students who are getting ready to apply their Raku glaze to the Raku pots. Our Raku glazes are currently situated on the cart on a map, and the map indicates the name of the glaze and the color number, and you will find samples of each of these glazes also on the map, and they are all clearly labeled again so you know which is which. You will also find stains. There are stains that can be applied over another light colored glaze like white or light blue. The first thing that you want to do is condition your brush by wetting it and just making sure it is clean. A damp brush is a little bit better to use. Please note there is a yellow instruction sheet on the cart which gives you a little bit of guidance if you forget some of this. Typically you don't need to rinse the raku because it's super porous, but if you do, rinse it a day before you start glazing. The next step is you're going to be mixing the glaze to the proper consistency, which is about the consistency of a melted milkshake. You can use a paintbrush, a little plastic or rubber spatula that I have back there, or you could use one of the small baby whisks. You want to really stir your glaze and it should look smooth and consistent, again like a melted milkshake. When you begin applying your glaze, step number 3, you're going to apply it to the inside first. You will find funnels back at the sink if you need a funnel, and a funnel is helpful in order to get it into a smaller hole. I'm dribbling a little bit there because I knew that my glaze was very, very full. So I put a small amount of glaze in there, not so much that it's going to run out, and then I'm going to rotate the pot as I pour it out to make sure that I'm covering all the way around there. Once I've poured it out, I'm going to sponge off the exterior. Touch up a little spot where maybe I missed it. The reason you do the interior first is so if you dribble, you can clean it off, and then clean off the rings of the lid before you return it. Now this glaze is very thick and chunky, so this one needs to be remedied. So in order to remedy it, I'm going to add a little bit of water, just a tablespoon or 2 at a time, and I'm using the little whisk there to help mix it up and stir it up. And I'll add a little bit of water and keep stirring it until it looks like a better consistency, again like a melted milkshake. Then I can stir a little bit with the paintbrush too. And then I am going to wipe off the handle. And next, I'm going to apply the glaze to the exterior. Now, you want to apply 3 coats on a smooth surface when you brush, or 2 coats on a heavily textured surface. If you have any hairs or bristles of the brush that fall out, you can disregard those. They will burn out. Let the color dry between each layer, and I'm doing a total of 3 layers. If you can reach your brush onto the inside, you can brush the inside. There's no reason to pour. I only poured the other one because it had a narrow opening. Again, you only want to do 2 layers on heavy texture, 3 on smooth. And before you put the lid back on, again, just kind of wipe off the rings on the jar. That way the lid won't get stuck. Wash the brushes out really well when you are done. Make sure that you are getting all that glaze out. You can use a little bit of soap if necessary. And then when you're done, return them fluffy end up into the brush jar. If you use a detail brush, put that back in the cup. And if you have tape resist, you'll remove that after the glaze is dry with a needle tool, just prying that off, and it is a little bit messy, so catch the glaze that falls off. And lastly, we're going to be wiping the bottom to make sure that you get all the glaze off. If you remember the trick that I've showed before, if you set a pencil down flat and then rotate your pot, you can get a nice even line that's about 1/8 of an inch up away from the bottom. Then you can sponge up to that line. You always want to have about 1/8 of an inch clearance on your pieces so the glaze won't stick. Also, you want to have clearance on your lid. For ceramics too, make sure that there is no glaze where the pot and the lid are touching. If you have a gallery, make sure that gallery is clean and the edges of the lid are clean. And that is how you glaze your raku pieces.